A House Subcommittee has held an emergency hearing on the Medical Deferred Action policy change. Let's first get you caught up on what we're talking about, and then we'll talk about what's happening right now in the Congress. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS, has instituted a policy change to eliminate the deportation deferral for extreme medical need. This is called the Medical Deferred Action Program. It lets individuals that are here lawfully on a visa or other legal status to stay after their visa ends because they are receiving emergency medical care or medical care that is determined to meet an extreme medical need. A lot of these immigrants are children. They're going through cancer treatment. They're in the hospital right now in a NICU or in intensive care, or there's other extreme medical need keeping them in a medical facility or getting extreme medical care. That deferral is for 2 years, so you don't have to leave the country. Once your visa ends, you can request permission to stay for 2 years to keep getting this necessary medical care. Well, USCIS sent letters to families saying we're ending that program and you have 33 days to leave the country. 33 days from the date of the letter. They said the policy change was technically effective August 7th. So the consequence of not leaving is to be forcefully deported and then risking re-entry later should you have to go through that immigration proceeding. So this was the policy change effective August 7th. As you can imagine, there was public outcry, congressional outcry and public outcry. So coming back, USCIS said, oh, we'll change a little bit and reevaluate what we were doing. If you got one of these letters that happened after August 7th, we're not going to enforce that right away. You don't technically have to leave in 33 days like the letter said. They said we will reevaluate the folks that were pending deportation or pending deferral decision and make a decision on that in the near future. So they kind of put a stay on those decisions that were being made before August 7th. They didn't change anything for people that requested a deferral after August 7th. So that's still up in the air. But this was as a result of this public outcry. In the meantime, there was a congressional inquiry that was called. Congressional leaders in the House wanted to know why this policy changed without following proper legal procedure. There was no public input. There was no notice. Families just got letters sent to them. So they called a congressional inquiry. So this was an emergency hearing. It was held September 11th. It was the Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Subcommittee of the House Oversight and Reform Committee. They called immigration officials. They called medical experts. They called legal experts to testify. They asked a lot of questions of officials from USCIS on why this policy was changed, why it was done without advance public notice, and the justifications required by law. And USCIS largely declined to comment on any of those topics. ICE officials, when asked, and this is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement issues, who were also invited to speak at this hearing, actually said they were a little blindsided by this announcement because they were told that they would then be the agency in charge of talking to families about deportation should this deferral be canceled. And they said they didn't see that coming. They don't have a process for that right now. So they admitted that this was a little bit out of the blue. The announcement does stand right now that this is a partial concession. It only addresses cases filed or pending before August 7th that will be reconsidered. But where things stand right now is that if you got one of those notices of deportation after the policy, if you apply for the deferral after the policy, right now it's the new policy that's on the books that says you do have to leave. What does Department of Homeland Security say? Well, they said we're still considering a path forward and these are internal discussions and we aren't prepared to discuss them at this time. So, of course, we will keep you posted as we learn more. We do have some links for you to visit in the description below. You can read the letter that families got from USCIS. You can also read that press release from USCIS and the letter from about 127 members of Congress that went to Homeland Security, USCIS, and Customs Enforcement, ICE, saying, why did you change this policy? What are the legal reasons you had to even make this work? And then we do share that website that gives you the documents that were presented at that congressional inquiry on September 11th. If you have questions on immigration policy as it impacts healthcare and coverage, you can find us at healthwatchwisconsin.org, but we will keep you posted as this develops. So hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to make sure you're kept up to date.